Okay, so some visions sound crazy until they work, and then everybody buys into them. You know, if they're not crazy, they're just too small. So today we're going to talk about what John F. Kennedy said back in 1962. We choose to go to the moon. They didn't have the technology. It didn't exist. He even admitted that in his speech. Materials weren't even invented yet that they needed. Systems were untested completely, and the risk was enormous. But John F. Kennedy didn't wait for proof. He created belief first. And vision without permission is what makes things happen. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Okay, welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss successful entrepreneurial tips, how to take your business to the next level, whatever that level might be, and ultimately follow your dreams. So as we talk about dreams, let's break down this moon speech. So the moon's 240,000 miles away. It's never been done before. And JFK says, we choose to go to the moon. So of course we wanted to beat the Russians and everyone else. We choose to go to the moon. And he says his speech. We're going to talk about different things today, but you know there were naysayers. This guy's crazy. What is he talking about? It's never been done before. Well, that's what vision without permission is all about. It's a rocket taller than a football field, which has never been built. The new alloys have not even been invented yet. Precision beyond anything built before. Speeds over 25,000 miles per hour, unheard of, 1962. Heat approaching the temperature of the sun. And not just go there, but we had to safely return. And do it before the decade was out, which we ended up doing it in like 6 years, 10 months. This wasn't optimism, folks. This was disciplined faith. And he was such a good leader that many people bought into it. And many people caught the dream. See, in your team, I'll say your little team because his team was the United States of America. In your little team, you have to have a vision, and then you have to have your team buy into your vision. You're the only one that can do this. See, I would typically get some of my leaders on board first, and then they would help me spread the dream. They would slowly start sharing things like, we might be doing this soon. What do you guys think about this? Or, boy, if we could do this, we would really be ahead. It would save this, it would save time, it would do this, it would do that. And so we would gradually get people to buy into the dream. Then by the time I got up and shared the dream, people were prepared. We prepared our soil. We prepared people's minds and hearts. And John F. Kennedy did the same thing in a much bigger way. So that's how this ties into leadership. Great leaders don't describe what is, they describe what must be built in order to get to the next level, whatever that level might be. So there's many reasons why people laugh originally at your dream or at a big vision. First of all, people fear what they don't understand. That's why many people don't take risks. They're just not risk takers because they don't understand how they are going to complete their vision or their dream. And today, the president of the United States stood up in front of everyone and said, we're going to be the crypto capital of the world. And many people laughed at that. They still see crypto as an underground scheme of some sort that's not legal. And we've come a long way with crypto, folks. So he emphasized the need to embrace digital assets to drive technology. Now, that's a leader. It's what JFK did. The next 5 to 10 years is going to be huge in the crypto world. You're either on board or you're not on board. You either see the future or you don't see the future. But I've said this a million times. If you could get on board the first 2 years of buying stock for either Google, Amazon, Apple, would you, knowing what you know today, would you buy some stock? And most people say, yes, I would buy some amount of stock that I could afford. Or they might even go in debt to buy more. I mean, knowing what you know today, it's very easy to make that decision. But with crypto, it's not known today. It's on the ground floor. And I want to be on the ground floor. And I want to see this thing through because I know where it's going. I study it. I read about it. I listen to certain people who know more than me about it. And it's going to be huge. And big vision exposes small thinking. When I ask some of my friends many of them are smarter than me, have you got into crypto yet? And they go, that's what they say. They go, no, I haven't got into crypto yet. And I drop the subject because small thinking, they're smart, but they're small thinkers. And comfort prefers proof first. Well, if you're a risk taker, you don't care about comfort. I've been uncomfortable my entire business life in order to grow. Nothing's comfortable about it. The only comfortable thing was when I sold the company and I watched that wire come across my bank account. That was comfortable. So visionaries just don't think that way. We don't think that way. When I started my business, I didn't have any proof. I didn't have any guarantees. I didn't have a roadmap on how to get there. I couldn't tell you how big it would become or even when it would be profitable. But I could see it. And I seen that vision. My vision was big. My dream was big. I could see it. I locked in on it and I refused to let go of it. And I figured out how, one step at a time, staying focused, disciplined, and committed, trusting that clarity would come through action and not before that. So as long as I applied action, as long as I wore out shoes knocking on doors, as long as I hired the right people, as long as I learned how to market, brand, and advertise better than anyone else, as long as I took care of people better than anyone else, I knew this was going to happen. That was my action plan. My action plan had to happen before success happened, before making money, before anything happened. So if your vision doesn't get laughed at early, it's probably too small. Some examples of that would be moon landing, internet, smartphones, and like I said, cryptocurrency and blockchain. Right now, we're in the middle of it. You have an opportunity of a lifetime. You either laugh at it and ignore it, or you'll buy in later when it's much more expensive. How about Mars? We're going to Mars. I mean, according to Elon Musk, we're going to Mars. You can laugh all you want, but I guarantee you we're going to Mars. All right. Also, you've got to have a laser-focused vision. I talked about, I'm going to put that up here, that podcast that I talked about, the differences between just a vision and laser-focused vision. And you got to have laser-focused vision versus wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is not going to get you far. You see, clarify the difference. Wishful thinking, anybody can wishful think. You know, I wish I knew where crypto was going in 2 years. I wish, but I don't care where it's going. I know where it's going. It's just a matter of time. I want to say that. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. But it will be within the next 5-10 years. It's going to be huge. And hopefully sooner. God doesn't give us a vague vision. I want to clarify that. He gives us a focused vision. He places a clear picture in our heart, in our mind, of what could be. And even if we don't yet have all the details in order, which you don't need, by the way, some of you are more concerned about having all the details in order. I have to fully understand something before I buy into it. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to fully understand it. You just have to have the vision and the dream for it. And the details will show up later. The focus comes first, and then the clarity is revealed as we step forward into faith and obedience. And we be obedient about it. If God's calling us to do something, we have to be obedient. We have to follow through. So Noah built the ark before it had ever rained. No one had ever even seen rain. The moisture came from the ground up prior to the flood. Noah built the ark. God said, I want you to build an ark. I want it to be this big. I want it to be this tall. I want it to be this many rooms. I want you to build the ark. And he was obedient, and he had faith of what God wanted him to do. And it took him years to build the ark. And Abraham moved before seeing. And Moses led before certainty. And I just told my daughter last night, we had watched at our church, it was Youth Sunday, and a lot of the youth who are called into ministry got up and spoke. And she is an introvert, and she said, I just could not do that. And I said, well, if God called you, you could do that, because Moses stuttered. And Moses told God, I'm not the guy for you. Use my brother. He's a better speaker. And God said, I want you. I will speak for you. And he did. So, key line, God gives vision first, and then he asks us to build later. And today, our president is saying America will be the crypto capital of the world. And I said this earlier. Many of you don't understand it. Many of you mock it. You think he's crazy. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. So if you dismiss it, one day you'll be saying, I wish I would have. Just like they laughed at JFK, they'll laugh again. That's how it works. Anything I did when I started McAfee, I had family members say it'll never work. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the know-how. And they probably laughed. And I know other people did. And a lot of people, when my phone didn't ring for 2 weeks, the second year in business, they were like, why don't you go get a job? I mean, go get a job. And they laughed. But that's just how it works. Opportunity belongs to those who see early and prepare wisely, and they don't let the laughing affect them. One day they laugh last because they're going to laugh. If you don't believe that crypto is going to be it, you're going to laugh last, or you're going to cry. And the ones who've seen it early are going to laugh and say, we tried to tell you, but you didn't see it. When everybody wanted on the ark and the earth was flooding and they were drowning, Noah invited everybody to the ark, and they laughed. All right, so what's this mean for business and life? What's this going to the moon? What's this vision mean for business and life? Well, business grows wealth, and for me, it's leaving a legacy. It's starting with nothing, $274. First year, our personal, we were going through some filing cabinets in our basement, and we found some first year paraphernalia, and it had $20 allowance for me, $20 allowance for my wife. Again, that is approximately $60 today, so we lived on $20 a week, and we saved. We had a budget, an actual budget, and it was $20 allowance for Greg, $20 allowance for Naomi, and $100 savings per month. So we saved $1,200 a year. Again, today that could be $3,600 a year. I don't know. It's got to be close. But my question for you is, what vision do you have? You know, visions don't often knock twice. If you blow it off, you ignore it, or you laugh at it, it doesn't knock twice. What is your moon? What are you building that doesn't exist yet? Do you have that kind of vision? I just watched a documentary on Charles Kettering, and he said some of the similar words when he was, he invented the electric starter first for Cadillac, and then he got involved with GM hugely, and he fixed the diesel engine, which they first put on the train, locomotives, and then, of course, it went to semi tractors, and then, of course, you can get them in cars today. But he said, I know how to fix it, but a lot of what I need has not been invented yet. I mean, that's a visionary. I know what's going to fix it, but it's not been invented yet. So they had to get to work to figure out how to invent it. And what you're building, what are you building that doesn't exist yet? Are you waiting for proof or preparing in faith? I mean, we have to prepare in faith. We have to see it. We have to buy into it. I started with almost nothing, like many of you did, years before results. Years before results. I didn't know how, I didn't know when. No different than for me today with cryptocurrency. I don't know how it all is going to work, but I know it's going to work. I don't know when, and nobody does. But it's going to happen soon. I mean, Jesus is coming back as well, and nobody knows the date or time. And anyone who says they do is wrong. So I started with almost nothing, years before results, vision before validation. Every breakthrough starts with an idea that scares reasonable people. Every breakthrough starts with an idea that scares reasonable people. And I'm going to close with this. We talk about having faith. Hebrews, in the book of Hebrews, faith in the unseen. Talks about faith in the unseen. You don't see it yet. You have faith, but you don't see it. And the Bible also talks about writing down the vision. I talk about that often. Write down your vision. I pulled out a notebook just this weekend, and I was reading through it, what all I wrote, and I came across almost a year ago today, I wrote down some goals, and I checked off what out of 5 goals, 3 had already happened. Write down the vision. Every generation gets a rare window of opportunity. And I will reiterate, cryptocurrency is our opportunity. It's this generation's opportunity. The tragedy isn't missing it. The tragedy is never believing it was possible. Now, we didn't choose the moon. JFK didn't say we choose to go to the moon because it was easy. We don't choose crypto Mars or AI because it's easy. We choose because vision demands courage, and courage builds history. And I want to leave a legacy for my family. That's my goal today. That's my vision. That's my dream. And it will make history. It will be the first ever in my entire lineage, anything like this, anything. So I want to challenge you with this, leave you with this. Write down, what is your moon this week? What is your moon? Okay, I hope this was beneficial for you. It sure was me, even though I wrote it. Just reading it inspires me. So if you like it, please hit that like button. Please leave me a message, what your thoughts are on this, and tell a friend about it. Let's inspire a lot of people with this message. And as always, carry on. God bless. Make this day the best day of your life, because we're not promised tomorrow. I'll see you later.